Okay, so welcome to the continuation of the SAP ABAP Development Fundamentals for Beginners. So this is also a continuation of the SAP ABAP Development Environment, where we understand the tools, and in this video we are looking at the screen painter and the menu painter. So the learning objectives for this part of the video is that you are going to understand what the screen painter and the menu painter tools are used for. So we are going to create a simple custom screen, which is Dynpro screen with input and output fields, and we're going to build a menu bar and a graphical user interface status to handle user actions, and then we are going to connect the screen logic to an ABAP program. So this gives you your first interaction with the screen painter and the menu painter. The screen painter and the menu painter. So these tools actually allows you to build user interfaces right inside SAP without needing HTML or JavaScript. So think of it as SAP's native way to create forms, menus, and buttons for your ABAP programs. Okay, so the first part that we're looking at is what is a Dynpro. A Dynpro is simply a screen with logic that is attached to an ABAP program, and it defines what the user sees. So it has things like input fields, buttons, texts, and how the system reacts. So a Dynpro, which means dynamic program, is just something that has to do with screen plus flow logic. Okay, now we'll see it shortly. All right, and when we talk about the screen painter, every Dynpro application has a screen number, and it usually starts from 100. So if we want to create the screen painter, let's go to the transaction code SE80. Let me open a new graphical user interface. Use Ctrl N. So if you go to SE80, which is our object navigator, so I would like to select package. So this is my package, and inside this package I can create a new program through this process. Okay, so I clicked on this to display the tree. Can right click on the package name and go to create and say create program. All right, so let's name this program ZSAPVIC underscore screen demo. So we want to demo the screen painter so that you have an idea of what the screen painter is and what the menu painter is. So with this fundamental, or with this basic information, you'll be able to build on this. So this is the purpose of these fundamental lessons. All right, so it's an executable program, and then this is the title, program SAPVIC screen demo. So click on save right here, and here my package is already selected because I created it from the object navigator. So click on save, and now we create a new request because this transport request was used for the addition of two numbers from the previous video. If you have not seen that video, you can also have a look at that video. So we click on create request, and in our short description we can say screen demo, screen painter, and menu painter demo. Okay, all right, so we save this and we can save. Okay, let me zoom in here. So now that we have this program created, if we want to create a screen, we simply need to go to the program, which is right here, and then right click on the program and click on create, and look at screen right here. Click on the screen, and now it says program SAPVIC, and that's on screen demo was changed. Save before exiting the editor. Yes. Okay, and now screen number. So let's enter screen number 100. Every Dynpro has a screen number, and it usually starts with 100. So think of it as your first page in the application. So click on continue. Let's give it another short description, say screen demo, screen painter demo, right? And then right here you click on save. Okay, so this is it. And now we are going to be designing the screen painter. So to design the screen painter, we have the flow logic, we have the layouts, And so we can open the layout. So now the layout is opening, and in this layout you're going to design the interface of the screen. So we are going to add a text field that will have the label enter your name. So if you look at the left hand side, you see different elements that you can drag and drop. So each element has a name, it has a type, and sometimes it has a function code. So the function code will tell the ABAP what action was triggered. All right, so let's do something. So let's drag this text label. This is the text field, text element rather. So in this text, we are going to say it was enter your name, and then right below the text field, you see an input field. So we're going to drag it right in front of this so that the user can have an input field that he or she will enter their name. So enter your name. So here we can say name. Okay. Then right here, of course, here you can leave it empty. You don't need to put a name here, but we can just put a name. Then here we don't need a text because this is going to be an input field. So we don't need a label on this, but we need a name here. Okay. And then we're going to say parameter underscore name. This is very important. Okay. Then we are going to add a button. So if you see here, this is a push button. Okay. So I can drag the push button here. Yeah, let's put the push button here. Push button. Okay. Let's put it here, right here. And then the button, the text on it should say hello. Okay. Then the name should be hello. Okay. And there's going to be a function code. So our function code, our function code, like I explained before, will be used to perform certain action in relation to a logic that will be defined in the ABAP. So for instance, if you say when you press say hello, then it should display hello and the name that was entered. So you need a way to capture those actions. All right. So if we click on this, we can go to, so see the function code is hello here. Now we can save this, so enter a name, say hello, and then say hello will be the button. Okay, once it's saved, you can close this. Now we go to the flow logic. So in the flow logic, we see the code behind the screen. So there are two things you'll see: process before output and process after input. So these two parts controls how the screen behaves. The PBO, which is process before output, what happens before the screen shows up. So these are things that you can predefine before the screen appears. Then process after input, you define what happens after the user presses a button or hits enter. So these are actions that happens after the user perform certain operation like hit the button or hit enter. So we can save this. Let's activate for now. Activate, use control. Let's control F3, or let's hold on a bit. Let's go back to our main program, which is this screen demo. So in our main program, we are going to define our parameter, which is used data to declare parameter. So we say PA underscore name. Remember, PA underscore name, and it has a type of string because the name will be string. And then we can actually go back to the screen. When we go back to the screen, go to the program, expand this, and under screens, you see screen 100, double click on this. So we need to save the parameter that we defined. So right here, you are going to uncomment module status and this one right here. So we need to see what it does. So in the module status, you are going to, somehow the underscore is not being displayed on the screen. I don't know why at this moment. So double click on this and it says process before output module status does not exist, because it does not yet exist in our program. Do you want to create it? Yes. So for now, I will create it in the same program. So choose master program, then click on continue. So we save. So if you see our program now has the module status 010_output. There's an underscore here, but I don't know what is happening, that maybe my recorder or something mask it out. And so we can uncomment this, uncomment these two, and I'll show you what this two does in a moment. So set PF status, so we can call it main. So this loads the menu or the toolbar that we are going to create next, and then you can set the title bar here. So for now, let's just put title for here for now, then Control S. Let's go back again a bit to the second part, or the second control, which is PBI. Let me click on back and see. Which is PAI, process after input. Double click on this. So this does not yet exist. PAI module user command does not exist. Do you want to create the object? Yes. Creating the same master program firm. So we have the user command inputs in our program. Okay, so right here, you are going to write the logic. And so before we go further, we can finish up with the PF status. Okay, or before then, let's just write the logic of what we want to happen. So in writing the logic, we use the case statement. If you know programming, there's a switch statement. So the switch statement in ABAP start with case, and then the variable that we are using is sy-ucomm. So this variable is actually an SAP variable that captures the user's interaction or user's input. So sy-ucomm holds the function code of the pressed button. So we defined the function code for the button. So when case sy-ucomm, then what is our switch statement? Because you can have many user interactions, so we can say when the sy-ucomm captures hello, that is to say when the user pressed on the button, what would happen? We write a message that will say hello, then we do a concatenation with the input name PA_name, okay, and then the type of the message is just going to be an information message, so we use I. So if it's an error message, you use E. If it's a success message, you use S. And then we define another case and say when back or exit, you leave the program, okay, and then we end this with end case. So we can use the pretty printer. To, make our syntax pretty. Just to format the source text. And then at the end of the module, we can say there are what we call event start of selection. So at the start of selection, we can say call screen 100. So at the start of this program, you call the screen. And let's go ahead to configure this PF status. So the goal is just that the screen will call screen 100, and then when you enter your name, it displays a simple pop-up message. So let's go to our PF status, double click on this, double click on the main. GUI status main does not exist. Do you want to create? Yes. Need to save before exiting. So let's just say main, short text, we can say screen Dynpro demo. It's a normal screen, so then click continue. So right here we have user interface, we have the menu bar, we have the application toolbar, we have the function keys. So function keys here, for example, if you see the typical theme that was used, you will see this kind of save buttons, confirm, save, back, exit, close. So here you can define those function keys. So here for this, we are going to just use back because we added this to our code. So when the user clicks on this back, it's going to go back, and when exit, it's going to exit the program. So this captures user interaction in the sy-ucomm. So let's save this. Here, application toolbar. So if you want to create your own button on the application toolbar, you can do it here. and also on the menu toolbar. So let's save this for now, and we want to see the end product of what we have done so far. Set title bar, double click on this. GUI titles, title does not exist yet. You want to create? Yes. So what's going to be our title? We can say hello user screen. Title code, the code is title, then the title itself is hello user screen, and let's click on transfer. Okay, so let's save this and let's do Ctrl F2 and see if there's any syntax errors. Ctrl F2, check for syntax, or right here. So right here you can see that no errors, no syntax errors found in our program. So let us save. And okay, so while I was creating the program, I've actually also created the menu painter. So, but I'll still show you how to access it. So let's activate Ctrl F3, and the program is activated. No, it's still inactive. So let's activate. It should activate. So let's confirm this again. So object activated. Let's execute. F8. Now you see, enter your name. So you can say Victor and say hello. It says hello Victor, and this is the simple screen and web Dynpro application. Because this is not a typical theme, you could not see the back button, but here the back button also should work. When you press on that back button, it exists. But if you use the typical theme, then you should see the menu. So because of that, I'm going to switch the theme. So let me log out of this system and log in with a different theme so we can have access to this. So to do that, we can go to more, we can go to SAP GUI settings and actions, we can go to options, and then right here you can see the themes. Select themes, and we are going to change it to the SAP signature theme, right? So the font settings, so let's click on OK. So the changes will be applied the next time we log in. So I'm going to log out and then log in again. Okay, now I'm logging into the signature theme of SAP. So you can use the menu painter to create these buttons that you see, the save, the back, log off, exit, etc. So we already did that in our program, but if you want to have access to the menu bar, to the menu painter, you can go to SE41. That's the transaction code SE41. Click on enter, and you can, before I show you the menu painter, this is our program in the signature theme of SAP. So when we execute here, you can activate, you can do execution, you can check. So if we execute, we can see enter your name. So we can see SAPVIC. And then when you click on this button, pop-up message says hello SAPVIC. Okay. So now if you look up here, so we created this back button in our code. If you remember, when we defined the PF status, double click on main again, have access to read. So in the function keys, we define the back button, application toolbar, you can define what you want here also. Okay, so the PF status is where we can design the menu. So the menu painter is where we can design the toolbar and menus, and you can also access it with transaction code SE41. All right, so and then we can add buttons, we can add function code. For instance, if you double click on this on the main, yeah, we change it, save. Yeah, so here we can add function codes. So the function codes like the back button, the exit function code. So when the user clicks on back, we captured it in the program. So let's go back to our logic. So it says here, when back or when exit, what should happen? Leave program. So when you have designed that in your menu painter, you can also program it in your code. All right, so that same code appears in your program via the sy-ucomm. So this is your first interactive SAP GUI screen. So if you save it again, and then we do F8 to activate, or we can use here to activate. Activate first, and then F8. All right. So once again, enter your name, SAPVIC, or let's say Daniel, and say hello. Yeah, say hello, Daniel. So the naming conventions, the bonus tip is that you should use 100 for the first screen, 200 for the next screen, etc. And always activate both program and screens. And also GUI status can be reused across screens, and you can always preview your layout anytime using the layout button. Okay, so in this video, we learn how to use SAP Screen Painter and the Menu Painter, which is the native tools for building interactive Dynpro applications. So in the next sessions, we can look at selection screens and parameters and where users can provide inputs before execution. All right, so see you in the next video.